All right, let's jump right in. Every single company out there, whether it's a tiny startup or a massive global corporation, has a master plan. You can think of it as a core philosophy that guides every decision they make. We call these grand strategies. And today, we are opening up the CEO's playbook to break down the three main paths any business can take. So, here's the plan for today. We're going to start with the CEO's compass to figure out what a grand strategy really is. Then, we'll walk through the three big paths: growth, stability, and retrenchment. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at how a leader actually decides which path is the right one.
Okay, first things first, let's get our bearings. What in the world is this compass we're talking about?
I want you to think about it like this. What's a company's ultimate North Star? You know, that one single idea that guides its entire journey, not just for a quarter, but for years, maybe even decades. That's the idea we're chasing here. And there it is. A grand strategy is that big, overarching philosophy. We're not talking about a new marketing campaign or hitting a sales target. Nope. This is the foundational choice, the big picture decision that makes sure everyone, from finance to marketing to HR, is all rowing in the exact same direction.
And this roadmap, it lays out the whole concept perfectly. See on the left, you've got that one huge decision, the overall strategic direction. And from that single point, the road splits into one of three paths. You either go for growth, you hold steady with stability, or you pull back with retrenchment. This is basically the map we'll be following for the rest of our chat.
So let's head down our first path, and it's the one everybody loves to talk about. It's that ambitious, high-energy drive to get bigger and bigger. The mission here is about as clear as it gets. Get bigger. It's all about expanding operations, snatching up more market share, or just increasing your company's overall size and influence. This strategy is all about momentum and pushing forward. But, growth isn't just one simple thing. It actually breaks down into four main moves. You can try to penetrate your current market more deeply. You can develop new markets entirely. You can create new products for the customers you already have. Or you can go for full diversification and jump into totally new territory. Let's see what that actually looks like. This is where it gets really interesting, because you can see these ideas in action. Market penetration? Just think of Coca-Cola's huge summer ad campaigns. They're just trying to sell more Coke to the people who already drink it. Market development? That's like Nando's taking its chicken from South Africa and opening up in a new country like India. Product development is easy. It's Samsung dropping the next Galaxy phone on its loyal customers. And diversification? Well, that's like a supermarket like ShopRite buying a pharmacy chain, a totally new service in a new market. Now, this is a super important point. Integration isn't a strategy itself. It's a tactic you use to achieve growth. With vertical integration, a company starts buying up its suppliers to control its own destiny. Imagine a retailer buying the factory that makes its clothes. Horizontal integration is even more direct. You just buy your competition. Picture Vodacom buying Cell-C. Boom, you instantly absorb their customers and market share. Okay, but growing isn't always the right move, right? So let's shift gears and look at our second path, which is all about consolidation, about holding the fort. And this is a really critical distinction to make. A stability strategy does not mean a company is failing or stagnating. Far from it. It's a deliberate, conscious choice to keep things at their current size, usually to focus on being more efficient or maybe to just settle down after a period of crazy growth. And just like growth, stability comes in a few different flavors. You might have a no-change strategy. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Or you might use a profit strategy, where you make some short-term cuts to protect your profits if the economy gets a little rocky. And then there's my favorite, the pause strategy, which is basically a company needing to just take a breath. And I just love this quote because it sums it up perfectly. The pause/proceed with caution strategy really is like taking a breath after running a marathon. Imagine a company just bought 3 other companies. It might hit pause for a year to get everything working together smoothly before it even thinks about its next big move. It's all about strategic patience. All right, now we have to turn to our final path. And the tone here gets a little more serious, because this one is all about survival. It's the strategic retreat. A company goes into retrenchment mode when it's in real trouble and has to shrink its operations simply to stay alive. And listen, the goal isn't just to get smaller for the sake of it. The goal is to get smaller in order to get stronger, to get back to a stable, healthy position. So these retrenchment strategies kind of exist on a scale of how serious things are. The first step is a turnaround. That's when a company like South African Airways takes some really drastic actions to stop the bleeding. If that doesn't work, the next step is divestment, where they sell off a big chunk of the business that's not doing well. And then the absolute last resort is liquidation. That's when the company is sold off for parts and basically disappears.
So there you have it, our three paths: growth, stability, and retrenchment. Now, for our final section, let's figure out how leaders actually choose which road to take. I mean, this is it, isn't it? This is the multi-billion-dollar question being asked in every boardroom. How does a CEO look at this map and decide which way to go?
Well, it really comes down to weighing a whole bunch of factors. A good leader has to analyze what the market's doing, take a really honest look at the resources they have, understand what their investors and employees expect, and know how much risk they're willing to take. And of course, how the company has performed in the past definitely shapes what it can do in the future. And here is one last really important idea to remember. These paths aren't always separate. In the real world, a giant company might be doing all three at once. It could be chasing a growth strategy in Asia, using a stability strategy for its older business in Europe, and even a retrenchment strategy for a struggling division back home. But at the end of the day, whether a company is on one single path or a mix of all three, the main idea stays the same. That chosen grand strategy, or strategies, is the organization's compass. It's their true north for the long journey ahead. And this quote from our source material really just wraps it all up perfectly. The grand strategy is the compass. It's what meticulously and consciously sets the course for where the company is going in the long run. So I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. Think about the company you work for, or maybe a company you really admire. If you were the CEO, looking at this framework, which path would you say they're on right now? And maybe more importantly, is it the right one?